Now I want to fix the facing to the neckline, but first we need to determine the direction at which the facing should go. Your facing should be inside your dress, not at the front, like it should be inside. So you want to work inside out. You want to see exactly what it looks like first. See if that is what you want. Then you flip it backwards. Means that your facing will now be at the front to sew. When you want to sew, you place your facing at the front of your dress. So by the time you are sewing and you flip it back, your facing now remains behind. Double check like this to see if it's when you flip it, it's inside. Mark out your sewing allowance. This helps you follow a regular curve while sewing. Your hand is not bent or in one mistake or the other. You'll be on the right path. Now you want to give it straight notching. This is called straight notching. Most of the time you notch circular parts so that it turns easily. When you want to turn anything and it's circular, you want to notch so that when you turn, it responds, it goes in smoothly. We want to do exactly the same thing as we did with the front facing. Now we want to test to see if we're on the right path. So you can fold in the facing and the cloth itself. Once you are sure, you can now flip to sew. Now when you flip this way, your facing will appear at the front. When you are done sewing, your facing will be at the back inside. Now you can put bias if you are using cloth. Just run your bias through for neatness. Remember to always notch, very important. Any curve you want to go through and you are going to put facing or lining, remember to notch. Now our zip ideally should be at least 5 inches away from the waist, but this zip is a bit short, so we will manage it. We then mark 1/2 inch above the iron area so we don't sew on the iron. Once you have done that, you want to stitch from the bottom of your dress to the point you marked. Now I'm referring to dress now or fabric now because you can either use your fabric to practicalize this aspect or you could use your paper. Either way, you are fine. Now you bend in your 1.5 inch sewing allowance on both sides. For your zip, the left side is always a very small side. You sew very close to the tip, while for the right you sew 1/2 inch. So you place your zip very close to the tip at the left, you sew all the way down. Bend the head of your zip. Remember to do that. You don't want the head of your zip showing. You want to bend it in. Now when you have sewn very close to the tip, you want to cross over to sew with 1/2 inch on the other side. So you could just mark your 1/2 inch all the way up. Rule a line. Please, when sewing, always rule a line for now, for beginners, so that you can follow a straight path. You see the intersection line underneath there, always cross neatly to the other line. When you are doing this, make sure you catch your zip. Don't just sew the paper or the fabric. Make sure it catches your zip so you can use pins to hold it down, so you are sure that while it's moving it's covered, and the other part must cover the left part. The right part must cover the left part. Now it's time to sew that. You want to sew from the tip of your dart you have marked out to the bottom part. Do the same thing for all the darts, front and back. Now I want to fix the front and the back shoulder together. Normally we should have just sewn the shoulder straight up this way, but we wouldn't do that. That wouldn't be neat enough, so we have to make sure our work is neat. So what we do is we want to use the back facing to turn the front facing. So flip it, pin down the front and the back, still facing, still at the back of your dress, right? Pin down the front and the back, but without the back facing. Don't attach the back facing, only pin the front and it's facing, but just the back. See, the back facing is not attached. Then you want to use the back facing to turn everything. So you flip your back facing, pin it down, rule your 1 inch allowance you need to sew on. You see how neat the back is? So your front is neat, your back is neat, no sewing showing. If you were to use full lining too, this is how to turn your shoulders. Now just for emphasis, you pin down the front facing with the back, but without the back facing. The back facing is left alone. Then you use the back facing to turn everything this way. You pin down your mark, then you sew. Now we are left with sewing the sides of our dress and fixing the sleeves. Alright, so sometimes when you put it like this, sometimes it might not align. In case you have that problem, in case the front is not equal to the back this way, what you do is before you pin, you distribute evenly right? Say that is 1 inch, that is excess. You divide by 2, give half on that side, give half on the other side. In case your dress or your pattern is not equal front and back, don't just give all your allowance to one side. But for this one, it is equal, so we pin down. Now this is where your notch is important. Pin your notch, waist notch, notch to notch. Pin down your hip, pin down your bust. Now stretch out your bust before you pin, so that you can get the correct measurement. When you measure your bust, make sure you stretch out all the folds so it's the person's size, right? Once you have gotten your measurements, you want to see what is left. Divide it, then distribute evenly on both sides. Do the same thing for the waist. Get your waist measurements, see what is left, divide it evenly on both sides. Connect your lines together. If you notice, it's not exactly on the former line. That's because of the dart we took at the waistline. So it's always good for you to cross-check your measurements. Don't just sew on the line you rolled out before. You need to always cross-check so your dress fits perfectly. Now you want to turn your paper in. This is where most people find difficult, but just push in most of it, then turn out. You'll be fine. Now, because it's paper, you might have a little bit of tension at the waist, so you need to cut open to release the tension. Sometimes it happens with clothes. You just have to release the tension a little if you are using fabric, not too much.